My name is Alina, and I was just 18 when I first moved to Manchester. To me, Manchester looked like a dream city. The tall buildings, bright lights, crowded streets, and busy lifestyle. It was so different from the small town I grew up in. Back home, life was simple. Girls were known by their families, by their character, and by their dreams. But here, in the city, I soon realized things were not the same. At first, I thought I was lucky. Everyone seemed so modern, so free, so bold. Girls my age wore the most fashionable clothes, carried the latest phones, and spent hours in cafes, malls, or clubs. On social media, they looked like queens, smiling, traveling, always surrounded by friends. But the truth behind those smiles was far darker than I could have ever imagined. I made a few friends at college, and they were nice to me in the beginning. They introduced me to their world. They told me, "Alina, this is Manchester. If you want to survive here, you have to be modern. Otherwise, people will laugh at you." I didn't understand what modern really meant, but soon I learned. Being modern here didn't mean education, career, or good manners. It meant showing off your body, uploading bold pictures on Instagram, staying up late at night, and talking to boys in ways that made me uncomfortable. Girls were measured not by their intelligence, but by how attractive they looked, how many followers they had, and how many boys were running after them. At first, I resisted. I thought, no, I came here to study, to make a good future. But slowly, that environment began to pull me in. It started with small things, changing my style of clothes, opening social media accounts, trying to fit in. Everyone around me made it seem so normal. "Come on, Alina," my friend Sana would say. "This is not your small town. This is Manchester. Here, if you don't enjoy life, you are wasting it." But soon, I began to notice the dark side. Many of my friends who looked so glamorous online were actually broken inside. Sana herself once whispered to me, "Alina, don't trust any boy here. They don't want love, they want your body. They will never marry us. We are just time pass for them." Her words shocked me. I asked her why. Then why was she always with them? She smiled sadly and said, "Because we are addicted now. Addicted to attention, addicted to fake love, addicted to the city lights. Even if we know it's wrong, we can't stop." It was true. I saw it with my own eyes. Girls who came to Manchester with pure dreams, to study, to build careers, to make their parents proud, slowly lost themselves. Social media and the nightlife changed them. Instead of books, their days were filled with parties. Instead of respecting themselves, they were begging for attention from strangers. And the boys? They treated girls like objects. They didn't care about their feelings, their families, or their futures. One night, Sana called me crying. I rushed to her hostel room. She was sitting on the floor, her makeup smudged, her phone lying broken beside her. I asked her what happened, and she whispered, "He left me, Alina. After using me for months, he blocked me. He said he never loved me. He said I was just fun." My heart broke for her. She wasn't just a friend anymore. She was a mirror of so many girls here. Girls who wanted love but ended up with pain. Girls who wanted respect but got used. Girls who came with dreams but were trapped in a nightmare. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about how easily lives are destroyed here. Parents send their daughters to big cities hoping they will study and succeed. But the city swallows their innocence and sells it back as a modern lifestyle. I asked myself, will I also become like this? Will I also lose myself? My heart said no. I wanted to be different. I wanted to protect my dignity, my dreams, my family's trust. But it wasn't easy. Every day, temptations grew stronger. My phone kept buzzing with messages from boys I barely knew. Some of them were even bold enough to say, "Alina, you're so beautiful. Why are you wasting your beauty on books? Let's meet at night. I'll show you real fun." It made me sick. Was this the meaning of being a girl in Manchester? Was this all they saw in us? Just beauty, not brains? As days passed, I saw more stories like Sana's. My other classmate, Hira, once dreamed of becoming a doctor. She was brilliant in studies, but after just 1 year in the city, she changed. She became more interested in hanging out with boys than in her books, and in the end, she dropped out. Now, she spends her nights in clubs and her days sleeping. Her dream of being a doctor, gone forever. Every time I looked at them, I realized, this city may shine bright, but behind its brightness lies darkness, a darkness that eats girls alive, slowly, silently, completely. And so, my journey continued. I was still fighting to keep my values alive, but temptations were all around me, and sometimes I felt so weak. Sometimes I wondered if I was strong enough to resist. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. By now, I had seen enough to know the truth. Manchester was not a dreamland for girls like us. It was a trap, a glittering cage where freedom was sold, but dignity was stolen. I still remember one night vividly. It was raining heavily, and the streets were almost empty. I had gone to the library for study and was on my way back when I saw a group of girls I knew from college standing outside a flashy car. Their clothes were short, their laughter loud, and the men inside the car were offering them money. One of the girls noticed me and quickly turned away, ashamed. That moment broke me. These were the same girls who once dreamed of being teachers, engineers, or artists. Now they were bargaining with their own bodies because the city had taught them that beauty sells faster than talent. I went home that night and cried, not because I judged them, but because I understood them. Poverty, pressure, broken families, fake love, these things push girls to the edge, and once you fall, it's hard to climb back. My cousin, who had been living in Manchester longer than me, once told me, "Alina, here girls are not loved, they are used. A girl is respected only until she says no. The moment she agrees to give her body, she becomes a game, a toy, an object. And when the game is over, they throw her away." Those words haunted me. I saw them proven true again and again. Sana, who cried to me that night, went back to the same boy after he apologized. He promised her love again, but weeks later, he left her once more. This time, she didn't even cry. She just laughed bitterly and said, "Maybe this is all we are worth." My heart shattered when she said that. I wanted to scream at her, to tell her she deserved better, but she wouldn't listen. Because once a girl's self-respect is broken, she starts believing she has no value. That's the real tragedy. The city doesn't just break dreams. It breaks the belief that girls deserve real love and respect. As for me, I was struggling every day. Boys kept approaching me, offering me gifts, promising the world if only I gave them what they wanted. I blocked them, ignored them, avoided them. But it wasn't easy. Sometimes loneliness whispered to me, "Alina, maybe you're being too strict. maybe this is just how life works here. But deep inside, I knew I couldn't lose myself. I thought of my parents, their trust, their sacrifices. I thought of all the girls back home who still believed cities were full of opportunities. I wanted to be proof that a girl can live in Manchester and still keep her dignity. Still, temptation kept knocking. Once, after class, one of my lecturers invited me to discuss assignments in his private office. His tone, his smile, it made me uncomfortable. I refused politely, but the look in his eyes told me exactly what he wanted. Even the educated men, even those we call teachers, were no different. That night, I couldn't stop thinking, if even teachers abuse their power, what hope is left for young girls? I realized something important then. This was not just about individual choices. It was about a whole society that teaches boys to see girls as objects, not humans. A society that praises men for being players, but shames girls for being victims. A society that talks about freedom, but forgets responsibility. The turning point in my story came when one of my juniors, a girl named Miriam, came to me in tears. She had just moved to Manchester and was full of dreams, just like I once was. But within months, she had fallen into the same trap: social media attention, a charming boy, fake promises. She whispered to me, "Alina, he recorded me. Now he says, if I don't listen to him, he will post it everywhere." I hugged her tightly. Her pain became my pain. And in that moment, I decided I couldn't just watch anymore. I had to speak up. I had to share my story, her story, all of our stories. So I began writing. I wrote about the dark side of Manchester, about how girls are treated, about how dreams are destroyed. I shared it online, but not with bold pictures or fake smiles, just honest words. To my surprise, people began reading, commenting, sharing. Some girls messaged me privately, saying, "Thank you, Alina. I thought I was alone, but your words gave me strength." That gave me hope. For the first time, I felt that maybe my pain, my observations, my struggle could mean something. Maybe I could protect at least one girl from falling into the same trap. And so, my final message is this. To the girls, your worth is not in your looks, your clothes, or the number of likes on your photos. Your worth is in your character, your dreams, your strength. Don't let a city, a boy, or society convince you otherwise. And to the boys, respect girls. They are not objects for your pleasure. They are human beings with feelings, families, and futures. If you cannot love with honesty, don't destroy someone's life with lies. Manchester may shine with lights, but behind those lights, there are tears, broken dreams, and silent screams. I lived through it. I saw it. And I want the world to know. Girls deserve better. We deserve love, respect, and a future where we are more than just objects.